Alright, hello everyone. So for today's lecture, journal article review tayo. Binilang-bilang ko yung mga articles na na-review na natin. Marami na pala, I'm surprised. Pang number 26 na natin to. We will talk about the psychology of death anxiety para to sa mga tao na takot sa idea of death. Nai-stress ka, nalulungkot ka kapag na-encounter mo yung idea of death. Pero ang malungkot dyan, yung death, parte talaga ng buhay yan. Basta nasa mundong ibabaw ka, sure ball. Merong mamamatay sa paligid mo, ikaw mismo. At some point in your life, mamamatay ka. So dapat, mababa yung level of death anxiety mo. No? Kasi parte nga yan ng buhay natin. The good news is, psychology has a way kung paano ba i-manage ng maayos yung death anxiety based on this article that we will review. The title, pwede nyong i-download, Google Scholar nyo, The Influence of Religion on Death Anxiety and Death Acceptance na sinulat ni Harding et al. Very good article to read. Ito yung focus natin for today's lecture. Biblical passages muna tayo, Psalm 23 verse 4, very popular to. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, altogether read, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Madalas ginagamit tong passages na to sa mga tao na may pinagdaraanan in connection to death. 'Di ba? Sila yung meron silang terminal illness, binigyan na sila ng taning ng doktor, no? 1 year na lang daw sila. Madalas binabasa 'yan. To comfort themselves, bubaba yung death anxiety. Or pwede ring namatayan ka. O may mga taong namatayan, ito yung madalas sa Bible verse na binabasa para mas ma-manage yung kalungkutan in connection to death. From Psalm 23, meron din tayong Luke 23, 39 to 42. Very popular din tong story na to. One of the criminals who were hanged railed at him. One of the criminals dito yung kasama ni Kristo na pinako sa cross. Because for those of you not familiar, when Jesus was crucified on the cross, meron siyang katabing dalawang magnanakaw na sinabay na ipako kay Jesus on that day. So sabi ng isang magnanakaw, dinare pa si Jesus, "Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us." Kasi hirap na siya na nakapako sa cross. But the other rebuked him, yung isang magnanakaw, and saying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we, indeed, justly, for we are receiving the due reward of our deeds." In summary, ang sinasabi ng pangalawang magnanakaw, deserve natin to. But this Jesus that we are with, hindi niya deserve ang mapako sa cross kasi wala naman siyang ginawang masama. But this man has done nothing wrong, sabi ng pangalawang magnanakaw. And then he turns to Jesus and said, Jesus, sabi niya, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And he said to him, Jesus said to him, nireplyan niya, truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Mamaya i-connect natin yan sa death anxiety. And then meron din tayong John 11. Jesus said to her, ito yung kapatid ni Lazarus. And in this part of the Bible, si Lazarus namatay. So nag-grieve yung sister ni Lazarus dito. I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Very popular words by Jesus, lalong-lalo na ginagamit yan kapag nakaka-encounter tayo ng idea of death. Okay? So, i-connect natin yung 3 passages na yan sa idea ng death anxiety in connection to this journal article. Pero balikan natin yung 3 passages. May common denominator yung 3 passages na yan, pampababa ng death anxiety. Kapag may kakilala kang tao na mataas ang death anxiety, these passages will help that person na mas ma-manage ng maayos yung nararamdaman niyang death anxiety. For those not familiar, ano ba yung death anxiety? Ito yung gaano ka katakot sa idea of death. The degree to which you are so scared of the idea of death. So kapag tuwing naririnig mo yung death, tumataas yung blood pressure mo, tumataas yung stress mo, natatakot ka, change topic mo kaagad, kasi ayaw mong pinag-uusapan yung death, for you it's a taboo, most likely, mataas ang level of death anxiety mo. And according to the literature, hindi maganda na ang tao mataas ang death anxiety. Kasi raw, ito, pag mataas ang death anxiety mo, it's connected to a number of negative, hindi magandang psychological outcomes. Tumataas yung level of stress, tumataas yung neuroticism, nagiging poor ang mental health according to the literature. Kaya ang lesson dyan dapat, kapag mataas ang death anxiety mo, pag-aralan mo kung paano yan i-manage ng maayos para bumaba. And in these passages, these are good examples to show na manageable ang death anxiety. For example, doon sa kapatid ni Lazarus, mataas ang death anxiety nung kapatid niya. Kasi nga namatayan siya ng kapatid, no? So ano sinabi ni Jesus? Huwag kang ma-anxious kasi si Lazarus hindi talaga patay. Although physically he dies, pero yung spirito niya, dahil naniniwala siya sa akin, buhay. Diba? Those words will lower down the sister's death anxiety. Yung magnanakaw naman, bakit niya sinabi na Jesus, remember me in your kingdom? Kasi mataas yung level of death anxiety niya. Sa totoo lang, ayaw niyang mamatay, takot siyang mamatay. But what did Jesus say? Today, you will be with me in paradise. Pampababa ng death anxiety. Yung sinabi ni David doon sa Psalm 23 verse 4, ang context niyan, merong gustong pumatay sa kanya si King Saul. Naiinggit kasi sa kanya. Siya yung magiging next king ng Israel. So, he wants David dead. Si David, during this time, simpleng shepherd lang siya. Diba? So, marami siyang death threats. Ang daming gustong pumatay sa kanya kasi nga iniuutos ni King Saul. So, ano ginawa niya? Sinulat niya yung Psalm 23. So, the idea of God, the idea of God being with David, nagpapababa ng death anxiety niya. That's how he deals with the anxiety that he feels galing sa death threat na natatanggap niya everyday. Nagigets niyo? So, itong 3 passages na to, all together, nagpapababa ng death anxiety. But among these 3, ang pinaka-favorite ko dyan, syempre, yung number 1. Ito talaga yung very popular words ni Jesus in dealing with death. Bottom line, hindi ka dapat matakot sa death, especially if you are my child, if you are a Christian, if you have accepted Jesus in your life, hindi mo dapat kinatatakutan yung death. Mababa dapat yung death anxiety mo. Yun yung bottom line nung words na to na sinabi niya doon sa kamag-anak ni Lazarus na namatay. Alright? So, given all these passages, nakaisip ako ng isang scientific hypothesis. Kaya nga, again, sa mga psych majors dyan, huwag niyong minamaliit ang Bible. Kasi ang Bible, hindi lang yan puro utos ni Lord. Gawin mo to, gawin mo yan. It can be a source of scientific hypothesis. Pwede itong pagmula ng isang research topic in psychology. And in this case, given all these passages, pwede nating i-test itong model na to. Yung belief ba in God? Naniniwala ka that God is real, that God gives life, that Jesus is the resurrection and the life. Yan ba pwede magpababa ng death anxiety? Believing in God makes you less fearful of death. Yan yung scientific hypothesis na pwede nating i-test. And again, saan galing yan? From these biblical passages. So, wag niyong minamaliit ang Bible. Sasabihin niyong walang contribution sa science ang Bible. Ang dami. This is one good example how certain passages in the Bible can give birth, manganganak sa isang scientific hypothesis. And this is exactly the topic na tinakel nung article na to. Ito yung APA citation. Baka yung mga research teachers dyan magalit sa akin. Sabihin nyo, hindi ko sila tinuturuan ng APA citation. Ayan na. Okay, so kung isa-cite nyo itong article na to, ilalagay nyo sa references ng thesis ninyo, yan ang isusulat ninyo. So in this article, gumamit sila ng 3 tools to measure the variables they studied in this article. 3 yan. Una, yung religiosity by Rarbo and Jason, 1975. In this instrument, ang minemeasure nito is yung religiosity or gaano ka-close yung tao kay Lord. Gaano kadalas mo iniisip si Lord? Naniniwala ka ba sa power ni Lord? Religiosity ang tawag nila doon. Although in the literature, marami pang ways on defining religiosity, gagawa na lang natin ng ibang lecture yan, but in this study, ganyan yung pag-measure nila ng religiosity. The degree to which you think about God, the degree to which you believe the claims that God makes in the Bible. Next, death anxiety scale ni Templer in 1976, ginamit din nila yan, minemeasure nito kung gaano kakatakot sa idea of death. So kapag mataas ang score mo dito, sureball takot kang mamatay, takot ka sa idea ng pagkamatay, so chine-change topic mo kapag ang usapan about death, or hindi ka nagpupunta sa mga lamay kasi ayaw mong nakakita ng mga namatay. Yan. Yan yung tinatawag na death anxiety scale. And then we have death acceptance scale by K.N. Najman, 1974. Ang minimeasure naman dito, gaano mo katanggap yung idea of death. So kapag mataas ang score mo dito, hindi ka na anxious sa death kasi tanggap mo na lahat ng tao, kasama ka, one day mamamatay, and that's part of life. Death acceptance ang tawag dyan. So binigay nila tong mga tools na to sa 130 people, sinama na rin kunin yung mga demographics nila. Because later on, isasama nila yan sa data analysis. Certain demographics from this 130 people. Nandyan yung kanilang age, sex, socioeconomic status. Ito yung mahalaga. Do they believe in God or not? Or do they believe in afterlife or not? Mamaya, kasama yan sa data analysis nila. So ano ba yung mga plano nila? No? Why are they getting all this data? Kasi una, gusto nilang i-correlate yung death anxiety sa death acceptance. Alam na mga psych majors yan, no? Anong ibig sabihin ng Pearson's R? Iko-correlate nila yung variable 1, death anxiety, sa variable 2, death acceptance. Mamaya, pag-uusapan natin anong findings nila dyan. And then, the authors also like to do this. Mag-multiple regression sila dito. Actually, in this slide, it's a linear regression kasi isa lang yung predictor. No? Gusto nilang linear regression yung religiosity towards death acceptance and death anxiety. So, ang independent variable dito, the predictor variable is religiosity, outcome variables, death acceptance, and death anxiety. Kaya bang ma-predict ng religiosity yung degree ng death acceptance mo, pati na ng death anxiety mo? And then, ito rin yung gusto nilang gawin. Remember, these are the demographics data, belief in God and belief in afterlife. In-analyze din nila yan. Yung belief in God mo ba, kayang i-predict yung death acceptance at death anxiety mo? And vice versa, yung belief in afterlife mo, can it also be a predictor of these two outcome variables? Nagigets niyo? So, belief in God, niregress sa mga outcome variables na yan, pati na rin yung belief in afterlife. So, all of this are done quantitatively. So, it's a quantitative research. No? So, ano yung mga results na nakita ng mga researchers dito? Una, there was a negative and strong relationship between death anxiety and death acceptance. Mga psych majors, dapat alam nyo na to. Minamani nyo na lang dapat to. Anong ibig sabihin ng negative relationship between two psychological variables as variable A goes up, variable B goes down? So in this case, yung mga tao na matataas ang level of death anxiety, sila yung mga bumababa ang death acceptance. Higher death anxiety, lower death acceptance. Nagigets nyo? Yan yung ibig sabihin ng negative and strong relationship. Kaya ang implication nito, kung a-analyze nyo yung results, no? Pag mataas ang death anxiety mo, mababa yung death acceptance mo. Death anxiety is a psychological risk factor. Kasi death acceptance, it's a good variable in the literature. Ano ang nagpapababa sa death acceptance? One predictor is mataas na death anxiety. So kapag mataas ang death anxiety mo, nababawasan yung magandang quality ng mental health. Which means death anxiety is a psychological risk factor. And again, if you read the literature on death anxiety, ang dami mga studies dyan na hindi maganda ang death anxiety sa tao. Tumataas yung stress, tumataas yung neuroticism, pumapalya yung mental health. Sinabi ko na kanina, hindi maganda mataas ang death anxiety. So, ang implication yan, if you're teaching clinical psych or even positive psych, if you want someone to be mentally healthy, anong dapat mangyari? Mababa, manageable dapat yung death anxiety niya. And the Bible knows this. Kaya nga, one of the things the Bible teaches is how to overcome death anxiety. Ang dami-daming mga passages in the Bible, wala na lang tayong enough time, gagawa natin ng ibang lecture yan, ang tinuturo sa tao, how should you see death the right way? And that right way, kapag ganun ang tingin mo sa death, hindi mo siya dapat katakutan. Ang dami-dami mga principles that the Bible teaches on how to lower down death anxiety. Now, it makes sense kung bakit in some other studies, nakita that reading the Bible is predictor of good mental health. Like for example, in this article, yan yung nakita nila dito eh. Those people who read the Bible a lot, which is the expression of their spirituality, sila yung mga magaganda ang mental health. Now we know why. Bakit kapag mataas ang spirituality mo, you read the Bible, gumaganda ang mental health mo? Kasi isa sa mga nangyayari sa'yo is bumababa yung death anxiety mo. Because that's one of the things that the Bible teaches you to do. How not to be scared of death. So that explains why spirituality is a consistent predictor of mental health. Number 2, religiosity negatively predicts death anxiety. Kanina, death anxiety, negative ang relationship with death acceptance. Ito, nag-linear regression na. Kapag mataas ang religiosity mo, most likely, papababain yan yung death anxiety mo. The more religious you are, the less scared you are of death. Ulitin ko, the more religious you are, the less scared you are of death. Mas iniisip mo si Lord, mas gumagawa ka ng mga rituals in connection to the Lord, mas nagbabasa ka ng Bible, mas bumababa yung death anxiety mo. And based on this finding, naalala ko, pwede natin i-connect yung nangyayari kay David dito. 'Di ba? Mataas yung death anxiety niya nung una. Pero nung tuwing iniisip niya yung ideas of the Lord, that God is with him, na si Lord, meron siyang rod, meron siyang staff na ginagamit. Ano nangyayari kay David? Bumababa yung death anxiety niya. Yes, King Saul wants me dead. And I am scared every day for my life. Baka one day mahuli na lang ako ng mga kampo ni King Saul, patay na lang ako. But when I remember that God is with me, meron akong rod, meron akong staff, what happens? Bumababa yung death anxiety niya. So whenever David expresses his religiosity, sumusulat siya ng Psalms, nagpe-pray siya, nagme-meditate siya, bumababa yung death anxiety niya. As we can see in Psalms 23 verse 4. Actually, yung words na yon, I will fear no evil, yan yung low death anxiety. Hindi na ako natatakot sa death because God is with me. Number 3, nakita nila, based on their findings, that religiosity positively predicts death acceptance. Yung mga tao na matataas ang level of religiosity, most likely, it's a very powerful predictor na tanggap nila yung idea of death. The more religious you are, mas iniisip mo si Lord, mas ina-apply mo yung mga principles of the Bible, you become more accepting of death. Which is again, in psychology, magandang variable yung death acceptance. Kasi ang pag-iisip mo dyan, in connection to reality. 'Di ba? Kasi ang death reality yan eh. 'Di ba? Yung mga taong kakilala mo, mami mo, daddy mo, mga kaibigan mo, pet mo, lahat yan mamamatay. And the more you accept the fact that one day this is gonna happen, the healthier your mind becomes. So naalala ko yung passage dito nung sinabi ni Jesus in connection to this framework, no, that religiosity predicts death acceptance, and he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Religiosity yan. Yan yung ginawa nung magnanakaw. Kumbaga, ang equivalent natin nito ngayon, nag-pray siya kay Lord. Kasi ang kasama niya dito si Lord mismo eh. Remember me when you come into your kingdom. Expression of religiosity yan. So anong sinabi ni Jesus? Anong reply niya? Today, you will be with me in paradise. Why did he say that? Pangpataas ng death acceptance. Does that make sense? Yung magnanakaw nag-express ng religiosity, and then Jesus, God, anong ginawa niya? Boom! Pinataas niya yung death acceptance nung taong mamamatay na. Yung isa pang passage na naalala ko, no, hindi natin binasa kanina to, but still in connection to this model, yung sinasabi ni Paul sa Philippians 1:21, yung ganyang attitude, for me, to live is Christ and to die is gain. Hindi siya takot mamatay. In fact, gusto na nga niyang mamatay because pag namatay siya, naniniwala siya, it's something that is gained. Marami siyang makukuhang mas magaganda when he dies. Tanggap na tanggap niya yung death. Mataas ang death acceptance ni Saint Paul dito. And why is that? Si Saint Paul kasi religious. Lagi niya kinakausap si Lord. Lagi siya nagme-meditate ng God's Word. Ginagawa niya yung mission na pinapagawa sa kanya ni Lord. So, ang outcome pala nun is tumataas yung level of death acceptance mo. Number 4, they also analyze the demographic variables. If you remember, I mentioned that a while ago. Tinignan nila yung belief in God at saka yung belief in afterlife. Ginawa nilang categorical variables yan, and then niregression nila yan towards death acceptance. And the result was, etong demographic variables na to positively predicts death acceptance. Ibig sabihin, the more people who are more accepting of death, people become more accepting of death when, according to the demographic variables, they believe in God and they believe in afterlife. These are two powerful predictors why someone would be accepting of death. Bakit tanggap na tanggap mong mamamatay ka? Bakit hindi ka na anxious kapag pinag-uusapan tungkol sa death? Anong sagot ng study? Kasi most likely yung taong yan naniniwala kay Lord at naniniwala na merong afterlife. Merong kingdom na pupuntahan yung kaluluwa mo when you die physically. Kapag ganyan yung profile mo, naniniwala kay Lord, naniniwala kang buhay ang kaluluwa mo after you die, most likely maganda ang death acceptance mo. Naalala ko dito si Abraham nag-a-apply sa kanya yung framework na to. Abraham believes in God. Abraham believes in afterlife. So when God said to Abraham, isacrifice mo yung anak mo na si Isaac sa akin. And of course, that involves taking the life of Isaac. 'Di ba? Sinunod ni Abraham. Bakit niya sinunod? Kasi mataas yung death acceptance niya. Tanggap niya. No, hindi ganun kataas yung anxiety niya in doing this because he knows kahit na physically mamatay si Isaac, merong Diyos na buhay. Yung kaluluwa ni Isaac mapupunta doon sa author of life. Kaya niya sinunod. Yun yung naging motivation niya to follow what God commanded him in the first place. Mataas kasi yung death acceptance niya. Imagine niyo kung si Abraham hindi naniniwala kay Lord, hindi naniniwala sa afterlife. Ano mangyayari? Bakit ko papatayin yung anak ko? Dito ko na nga lang siya makakasama sa earth. Never ko na ulit siya makikita kapag namatay to. So kapag ganyan yung attitude ni Abraham, most likely, hindi niya susundin yung inutos sa kanya ni Lord. Does that make sense? So another lesson here, kapag mataas ang death acceptance mo, tumataas din yung chance that you're gonna do what God is telling you to do. Karamihan kasi ng mga iniuutos ni Lord, no, sa kingdom niya, may mga times, hindi naman lagi, may mga times, may risk of death. So pag mataas ang death acceptance mo, most likely, walang problema sa yung sundin yung mga utos ni Lord na pwedeng ikapahamak ng buhay mo. So we remember those Christian missionaries who go to many places na dangerous. Bakit nila sinusunod yon? Kasi matataas yung death acceptance nila. Because they believe in God, they believe there's an afterlife. Does that make sense? So anyway, ang implication nito sa mental health, kahit na sa positive psychology is what, and by the way, ito pa pala, no, sorry, skip. May naskipan ako. According also to the data, yung belief in God and belief in afterlife negatively predicts death anxiety. Kasi kanina, yung outcome variable natin, if you remember, death acceptance, no? Kapag ginawa mong death anxiety yung outcome variable, itong predictors na to will negatively predict death anxiety. Which means, ang isang tao na mataas ang death anxiety, bakit kaya sila mataas ang death anxiety? Most likely kasi, yung taong yan, hindi naniniwala kay Lord, hindi naniniwala sa afterlife. So if you don't believe in spiritual things, if you don't believe in spiritual beings, if you don't believe in spiritual realities, hindi pala maganda sa mental health yon. Bakit? Kasi patataasin yan yung death anxiety mo. Kaya ang implication yan, again, in mental health, in positive psychology, hindi maganda na mataas ang death anxiety. At isa sa mga nagpapataas ng death anxiety is what? Sabi ng study, hindi ka naniniwala kay Lord, hindi ka naniniwala sa afterlife. And the reverse is true. Kapag naniniwala ka kay Lord, naniniwala ka sa afterlife, so mataas yan, no? Negative to. Ano mangyayari? Diyan bababa ang death anxiety mo. At yan yung gusto nating mangyari. Mababa ito. Paano pababain to? Pataasin mo yung belief in God and belief in afterlife. Which again, yan pala yung reason why in many literature, spirituality is a good predictor of mental health. Pwede mo kasing i-connect yan dito Anong meron sa spirituality na nagpapaganda ng mental health? Pasukan mo ng mediating variable kasi pala, yung mga taong highly spiritual, mabababa ang death anxiety and that contributes to good mental health. So kung gusto mong maging maganda ang mental health mo, maging maganda ang mental health ng mga taong kakilala mo, maging maganda ang mental health ng mga kliyente mo if you're a clinical psychologist, anong pwede mong gawin? Pababain mo yung death anxiety nila. And how does that happen? Yun. You work on belief in God and belief in afterlife. But unfortunately, many people today in our popular culture, dito mahina. Because materialism is so strong. Yan ang negative effect ng materialism today. 'Di ba? Usong-uso ngayon yung atheism. Many people are no longer believing in God. They are no longer believing in afterlife. Yan. Kaya ang nangyayari, marami mga tao ngayon, mabababa ito, tumataas yung level of anxiety. Okay? So kung clinical psychologist ka at advocacy mo ang good mental health, this is the model to consider. Para gumanda ang mental health ng mga tao na you are dealing with, anong gagawin mo? Pababain mo yung death anxiety nila via this one. Believe in God and believe in afterlife. Kung paano mo gagawin yan sa mga clients mo, sa mga taong kakilala mo, bahala ka na dyan. It is between you and the Lord, no? Kung paano ka tutulungan ni Lord para ma-enhance mo tong dalawang variables na to sa mga kliyente mo. Maliwanag. So, yun lang, no? Yung maikli nating lecture on this journal article. Again, I highly recommend basahin niyo to. It's a very good article to read in connection to death anxiety. So sana marami kayo natutunan. If you have questions, comments about our discussion today, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa baba. Sir Howard here until the next journal article. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.